So this is the stuff of Legends, not Marvel Legends, but we're looking at the Star Wars Legends Starkiller. This is from the Force Unleashed video game. It's a video game I grew up playing. Not grew up, I guess it was my teenage years, if anything. But it's nostalgic for me at this point, which is kind of crazy to say. I look at this figure and I want to play the game again, and I just think back when I was living with my parents playing this game. It's pretty crazy. This game came out in the mid 2000s, I think. 2008, was it? Something like that. I could be wrong. It's a game that's great. So it's The Force Unleashed 2, despite how much critic it got because of the length of the game. But overall, it's a great game, and this is a great character. We've been wanting this character in action figure form for a while now, for Black Series 6-inch at least, and here he is. He released initially in a 3-pack with some Stormtroopers that was incredibly overpriced, but luckily they released him single, and here he is. He's fantastic. He looks good. I mean, through the packaging. Let's see how he is out of the package, but through the packaging, looks good. Here's the side, and here is the back side right there. So I did have to fact check myself there, and I was correct. Actually, Force Unleashed 1 came out in 2008, and Force Unleashed 2 came out in 2010. So I guess I was wrong in saying the mid 2000s, more the latter half of the 2000s. But yes, I was in 8th grade when the first game came out, and I was in high school, 10th grade, when the second game came out. So definitely my teenage years. And again, it just makes me want to play the game again. I remember playing the Wii version, which is a totally different version than the PlayStation 3 and 360 version, in case you didn't know. It's similar, but very different. Gameplay is completely different cutscenes and everything, so it's worth playing both. A lot of people actually say the Wii version and the PS2 version, or the PSP version, is actually better than the 360 one, but hey, that's an argument for another video. He's wielding his lightsaber backwards because that is how he wielded it in the game, so that's cool. But everything you see right here is what you're going to get. Very bare bones here. Didn't expect head sculpts or hand sculpts, but we could have gotten it, Black Series just tends to be very bare bones, unfortunately. They haven't changed in that department. But I definitely could have seen different head sculpts, different hands, maybe, electric effects. I feel like the 3-pack came with all that, and maybe they reserved it for that release so that you would purchase that instead. I get it. More deluxe, more premium, but that price was just not justifiable in my opinion. I just want Starkiller, and here he is. So I opted for the bare bones version after all. So here's a close-up shot of the head sculpt, and it looks good. I think it looks like him. They did a good job with the face sculpt. Very, very good. Fun fact, I'm sure you all know by now, but it is Sam Witwer that voices, and actually they get the likeness from him as well. He is the voice of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. So I think he probably does voice other people too. Can't think of him right now, but yeah, definitely cool. Great voice actor and all. This figure has a little bit of blood going on here on the shoulder, which is nice to see. Some battle damage here on the sleeve. The red lightsaber looks good. Torso and everything else looks pretty good to me. Pretty standard Black Series figure here, like I said. They don't change much. Oh, I just noticed the blood on this arm. That's cool. More blood, that's awesome. I like to see that more often in these figures. Black Series just doesn't change much. Marvel Legends is always evolving, always making improvements with articulation and sculpts. No articulation improvements when it comes to Black Series, like ever, unfortunately. They do have good face sculpts. They do improve that, so that's good to see. So head's gonna look up. It's gonna look down about this far, left and right. Arm's gonna go all the way around. We have a, in and out. There's a little bit of a butterfly joint at the shoulder. That's nice to see. They always do single joints, so here they are again. There's a swivel at the single joint. There's a swivel at the wrist with a side hinge for the right hand, and there is a side hinge on the other hand too. This hand could be used to maybe force choke somebody, or use the force in general. That's your only option, right? He doesn't have a gun, so it's not really a trigger finger. But there's a peg hole here so that you can holster his hilt if you so wish. You can remove the blade itself. Legs are a little hindered with this plastic here. It's a little harder, but they do move forward. They go back. They go in and out. It does a full split. We what do we have up here? We have a little bit of a thigh swivel. No, not really. We do have a waist swivel in there somewhere. There's a lower diaphragm joint, or what is it? It's a ball joint. Then we have a single jointed knee. There's a swivel at that knee, ankle hinge, and ankle rocker at the foot. Probably the only comparison we really need here, but we have Vader next to Starkiller. At one point this was canon back when the game released, but they since then made it not canon. It's now Legends. But it would be cool to see Starkiller make its way into canon eventually. So I definitely like this figure a lot. Came out great. Overall, paint apps are pretty good. As for everything else, is what I expected in terms of articulation. That hasn't changed much. They haven't really wowed me there. But everything else is great, and I'm glad they did do a single release of this guy. So let me know your thoughts down below. Nice, quick, easy review here today. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.